All right, we're back again for another episode of the Flixters, and so we're bringing you episode 148, and this is Deval and I going to be speaking to, well, mainly about Marvel stuff on this week's episode because the big movie release this week is Marvel's Black Widow. We've been waiting, Deval, May the 1st, 2020.
Gosh,
That is when this
2020.
movie was supposed to be coming out.
That's a year and a year and 2 months ago. But also think about it this
Exactly.
way: the last time we had a Marvel cinematic release was January, no, yeah, July 2019. So that's 2 years ago, and we had
It's
the pleasure
mad.
of sitting in a cinema, or theater, and watching a Marvel film.
Exactly. So listen, so folks, so people who've just joined us, we're going to be going through some, obviously some movie news. We've got some trailers that we want to speak to you about, and that's going to lead us nicely into the anniversary corner, and then the main movie, which I've already told you is Black Widow. So
Yep.
before we do any of all that, Deval, we've got some shout outs. Who are we shouting out this week?
Yeah, we've got a couple of shout outs this week. First one goes out to Filmopedia. He's also done a really, really good Black Widow review on
Yeah.
his page on Instagram. You can check him out there, Filmopedia, as well as other movie reviews from international films to blockbusters to foreign language films, all kinds of films. So go out on his page and check him out. Really, really good stuff there. Second shout out goes to O'Sheapedia. No, O'Shea PD. See how I
OJPD.
see how I merged them.
You're mixing them together now.
I know. O'Shea PD. Yeah. So on Instagram, he shouted us out as well. He actually was talking about, I think, Fair Street
Yeah,
on
Fair
on
Street.
Instagram. Fair Street, which we're going to talk about today. And
Yeah.
Fair Street, yeah, we'll save it. But yeah, O'Shea PD really loves Fair Street.
He's
I
a
was a
fan
bit
of it.
surprised that he liked it, but he
I
liked it.
know. Yeah,
So
me too as well. Yeah, like Deval said, we'll speak about that one. But listen, folks, keep the conversation flowing on Instagram and on Facebook and whatever.
yeah.
We're always obviously posting stuff up on there and stuff. And also, Deval, it's a great way for people to win a movie code. I mean, how
Yes,
can people win a movie code?
really, really easy. All we're going to ask you to do is to do one thing. If you can write us a review on
Yep.
Apple reviews or Apple Podcasts, and just write what you think about the Flixters, and then we will send you a Rakuten movie code so you can watch a movie at home in your own comfort, or you can request a Odeon or View cinema ticket, which we'll send to you as well. So you get two prizes just for doing one thing. So easy. There you go.
I know, man. It's so easy. Get on it, folks. And and you could be out watching a movie,
Mm.
in the cinemas. All right, okay, let's get into movie news. And this is really interesting. Now, Deval, we've the last movie, so huge Hugh Jackman's last outing as Wolverine was Logan, which you and I and Kay, who joined us on last week's episode, and like quite a few of us from the office, we kind of got together and we went out and watched this. This was back
Yeah.
in 2017, I think it was. Was it
Uh,
2017?
yes, I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
16 or
yeah,
17?
yeah,
Something like that. And it was this
yeah.
great like send off for the character. But listen, Hugh Jackman. I mean, what's going on? He's back in the news. Is he going to be the new? Is he going to come back as Wolverine? But there's people talking about this. What do you
Yeah.
reckon?
2017, 4 years ago. So yeah, I mean, he said that he wanted to. I mean, he's in the Guinness Book of Records, I think, still for playing the longest, for being the longest serving superhero
Yeah.
actor, basically. So since 2000 to 2017, he played Wolverine,
Wow.
and he was never supposed to. It was so random that he got picked.
Exactly. And it was the
But
other
he
guy.
got
Who was it? Who was the other guy who was supposed to get it?
Hugo E. Scott, who was in Mission
That's it.
Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was filming Mission Impossible 2. Things overran, probably because Tom Cruise was doing his own stunts and got injured.
Yeah.
So Hugo E.
Running.
Scott couldn't work on Wolverine, and then Russell Crowe was offered actually. And Russell Crowe said no, he couldn't do it for whatever reason, and said, "Here's
Yeah.
my mate, Hugh Jackman. He's a theatre, actor and singer." And he went for it, 6 foot
Yeah.
three or whatever, playing a 5'3" character. But we digress. He done a really, really good job. But
Yeah.
what happened was on Instagram, Hugh Jackman himself on his own page posted a picture of him and Kevin Feige, who's obviously the Marvel
Mm.
head honcho, and also an image of Wolverine's, claws. So think
Yeah.
of that. Hugh Jackman's page, he posts Kevin Feige, Hugh Jackman's claws on his page, and that's it. Doesn't say anything after that. And the internet went crazy thinking he's going to be coming back as
What's
Wolverine.
with the cryptic? Why,
Yeah.
what's up, bub? Like, why is he doing that? Is he
I know.
like you say, is he teasing something? Could they have just done a
Tease,
deal where he
tease,
comes in as a
tease,
cameo?
tease me. I think, you know what? I think the way he ended it with Logan in 2017, it was almost perfect. I didn't want to see him die, but I was happy to see him go in his own terms. The film was
Yes.
the best,
Brilliant.
like one of the best X-Men Wolverine films that there was, because
Yeah.
it was like, it was R-rated, blood, people's heads getting cut off. That's how Wolverine should do it. If he comes
Yeah.
back, he's going to be all scratching people, like just, or just chopping up robots. But
Exactly. What's
yeah.
he gonna do? Unless unless there's some sort of like into the madness,
Oh,
into the multiverse thing
oh,
where he
that's
comes
true. Oh
as a
shit! I didn't think
cameo.
of that. You see, that's why you are who you are. Think of that stuff.
Could we see that happening? I mean, people listen. The fans would lose their shit, and obviously we'll go mad over that as
Yeah,
well. But listen,
yeah.
go online, go check it out. Go on Wolverines on Hugh Jackman's Instagram page. You can check all
Go on
that out.
our Instagram page. You tell us what you think, guys. Tell us.
Exactly.
Tell
Keep the
us.
conversation going. Tell us, and we'll pass it on to Hugh
Yeah, of
and
course.
Feige. All right, listen. Let's speak about She-Hulk now. This is going to be hot property. This is going to be
Yeah.
coming out. We're still in the throes of Loki, and obviously we've got Black Widow, to speak about, and then we've got Shang-Chi. So this is She-Hulk is kind of it's in the pipeline. It's going to be coming, and probably not this year, right, Deval? We've said that it's not coming out this year.
Yeah, it's going to be coming out. I believe it's like maybe springtime 2022, I think, on that
Okay,
one.
so this is going to be great. Something to look
Yeah.
forward to next year. Now, what we're hearing some rumors. We don't specifically know exactly the whole plot details. We know that there's a villain being cast, and we spoke about this before. British actress Jamila Jamil, I think, has been cast as one of the
Yep.
as the villain.
She hot.
But yeah, so any other rumors that you can tell us?
Yeah, from what I understand, and this is really like big for the MCU, really, but I understand that Jennifer Walters, who is the character of She-Hulk, that's her real name, she's going to be breaking the fourth wall, from what I understand. So a bit like how Deadpool is,
Deadpool, yeah.
what's his name? Bernie's Weekend. What's that film called again?
Oh,
The one with
Nightmare at Bernie's? No, no, no.
Weekend at Bernie's. Is that what it's called?
Weekend at Bernie's. That's it. Yeah,
That's the
Weekend at
one.
Bernie's.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Bernie's Weekend. Yeah, so kind of like that kind of situation, and like Saved by the Bell from back in the day,
Yeah,
like talking to us basically as the character. So from what I understand, that's going to be happening in this. It happened in the comics a few times as well. So
mad.
they're kind of bringing the comics to life as they always do. So yeah, it's
Exactly.
just interesting to see if that happens and if maybe Deadpool will get involved in that.
It sounds like
You never know.
something. Yeah, because we know that Deadpool is going to be part of the MCU at some point, right? So they're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
going to tone that one down. We
no.
mentioned the whole Logan thing. That's definitely not going to be toned down. I think Kevin Feige has said, look, there is a space for Deadpool to exist on Disney. And so we kind of, used to, the fourth wall. But this is going to be interesting. Can't wait for She-Hulk, and we'll obviously hear more about that. But listen, I want to speak about this.
Mm,
So listen, we spoke about Fast and Furious, the saga. It continued. It's going to continue. There's going to be parts 10 and 11. And one of the characters or one of the villains in the kind of franchise is now played by Charlize Theron, and her name
mm,
in that is Cypher.
yeah.
And Deval, tell us about this, because this is again, this is like expanding the whole universe, the Fast and Furious universe. What's going on with this? Tell us about Cypher.
Yeah, she's a gangster character. She's like the sort of tech wizard guru, like tech take over the world kind of character in Fast and Furious. We've seen her now for two or three films, I think it
Yeah, I
is.
think
I,
like
I lose
from
count, but
seven, wasn't it? Six or seven
yeah,
onwards
I
or
think
something.
so. So yeah, her character, we saw her recently in Fast and Furious 9, and it seemed like towards the end there was a bit of a, I don't know, end credit scene or something showing that she was still at it. And yeah, from what I understand, she's going to be getting her own spin-off, just like Hobbs and Shaw, because we know Fast and Furious is coming to an end at 11. So it looks like she's big enough and bad enough to have her own show. So that's what's going to happen. So yeah, I mean,
They
whether
could do this. Sorry, go on.
doesn't say whether she's going to be like an anti-hero or she's going to be all out bad. How's that going to work? What do you reckon?
You know what? I think they're setting it up so that she becomes the big bad,
Mm.
and then for number 11, that's
Oh,
when they all get back together, and then they got to
okay.
basically take it. So her movie might come out before that, or something. Because I mean, part 11 is not going to come out until what 2025, right, or something.
I shouldn't.
24.
They're doing both of them back to back. Remember, and
Oh
also remember this one
yes,
that we just got was supposed to be out a year ago. So who knows how much they've already got done of 10 and 11.
right.
So I don't think we're gonna have to wait that long. This ain't no Avatar situation where we're waiting till
Yeah, where they're
our
waiting
grandkids
for
come out before we get
exactly.
episode 5 or whatever.
Oh gosh. All right, listen, what I this is interesting news as well. Something that I kind of found interesting. Boba Fett, remember at the end of The Mandalorian season 2, there's a little kind of end credit scene where Boba Fett, well, we know that Boba Fett was in it because he appeared in kind of like, the last couple of episodes and whatnot. That character from the Star Wars, the original Star Wars movies. And he kind of goes back. I can't remember the actual name of the place, but it was the place where Jabba the Hutt
Mm,
was, and
not Tatooine
he
or one of those places, was it? Or I
it's one
can't
of those
remember.
places. I can't remember exactly where it was. So after Mandalorian, Boba Fett does this thing. He helps Mando out, and he and I forgot what's her name. His sidekick, the one from Shield.
Oh. And Na Ming Wei, I think her real name is. I can't remember her
Yeah. So
stage
Na
name,
Ming
but
Wei, she and Boba Fett, they kind of they're in this place where Jabba the Hutt used to be, and they overthrow
mm,
this. I can't remember what that actual alien's name is, but they basically get rid of him. And then there's the scene is where Boba Fett, he just sits on the seat where
yeah,
Jabba the Hutt used to basically sit.
yeah.
So that was it. And then people were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna get Boba Fett." Well, Boba Fett. The news is, I'm getting to it, is that the filming's wrapped up on that, and we're going to be seeing Boba Fett this December.
Yeah,
So basically, in half a year's time, basically.
yeah. That's going to be really good. I mean, Star Wars really does link well. Even at the moment with the
Yeah.
Bad Batch, they linked that to Star Wars Rebels,
Yes.
the sort of animation that came just after Clone Wars. So
Yeah.
Star Wars seems to link really well. Her name's Fennec Shand. That's her name,
That's
and
it.
the real name is Ming Na Wen. So yeah, that's the main character you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
Boba Fett's going to be heavy. Boba Fett is going to
Man,
be. He's one of them characters. People love Boba Fett. They
I
love
know.
them some Boba Fett.
Huge, huge. And
Trust
the thing
me.
is, we're not going to see Mandalorian this year, so they need to
Mm,
kind of fill in that gap.
yeah, yeah,
So they're probably giving us right. Okay, going to give us 6 to 8 episodes of Boba Fett, and
yeah,
then next year we're probably going to get Mandalorian Part 3.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
All right, here's some other big news. So Red Notice, this I think they're pumping Deval. The numbers that they're pumping, Netflix is pumping into this movie is absolutely huge. This movie called Red Notice, it stars The Rock, it stars Ryan Reynolds, and it stars Gal Gadot. Now, in
Hold on, hold
terms
on,
of
hold on,
kind of
hold on,
like
hold on, hold on,
Hollywood
hold on,
stars,
hold on. So you're saying it stars Black Adam, it stars Wonder Woman, and it
yes,
stars Deadpool.
Green Lantern, Dead and Deadpool, basically. Yeah.
I was going to say that, but no. Yeah.
So basically, right, you got three of the biggest stars
Mm,
in Hollywood at the moment, and they are going to be appearing on Netflix, a subscription
mm,
service that you could just pay like $15 or whatever it is, right? So this movie is coming out this November,
okay.
and we already got a kind of teaser. And do you remember? It was probably about a month ago where Netflix they did this kind of showcase of all the
Mm,
movies that they're going to be
mm,
showcasing over the next kind of year or so. So Red Notice was this big movie. It's kind of like action comedy. And imagine if you've got Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and Gal Gadot, it's going to be
mm.
action and it's going to be comedy. It's going to
Yeah,
be kind
yeah.
of like a blend up of the genres. So this movie is going to be huge for Netflix. They've spent like $200 to $300 on
Mm,
this Duval.
damn.
Damn.
2 to 300 million.
No,
Damn.
seriously, it's incredible. And yeah, we're going to be seeing it in November. So yeah, man, I'm looking out for this one. I want to see Free Guy first, though. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward
That's
to
out soon,
Ryan
actually. I
Reynolds'
think
Free
that's
Guy
in August, I think. So that's out soon. The
coming
one where
soon.
he's
I
like in
want
a
to see
computer
Jungle
game, kind of,
Cruise.
well, Jungle Cruise as well, looking good. Yeah, that's out soon
Yeah,
as well.
So big movies that will be coming out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that one. And then finally, I want to mention this film director Richard Donner, veteran film
Mm,
director Richard Donner. He passed away, man. This is
mm.
kind of sad news because this guy has been behind some of my favorite movies, and I'll just kind of reel them off. The Omen,
The Omen,
the the Omen, the original Omen,
the horror film.
1976
Yeah.
horror film.
Serious. What?
Seriously, man.
Him? I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Oh
This
shit.
guy used to flip flop between different genres. So The Omen, Scrooged, The Goonies, Lethal
Mm,
Weapon,
Leaf.
Superman.
All I know is Superman. I didn't know the rest.
Yes, and not only that, this
Shit.
guy produced. Let's linking it back up to Hugh Jackman. He produced all the X-Men movies,
No, he didn't.
bro.
What?
Bro, go
You're
check, man.
joking.
I'm not even joking.
Serious.
This guy's production company, the Donner, I think it's called the Donner Schuler or the Donner Company or whatever, they're behind all the X-Men movies, and they've
Wow.
raked in billions basically.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty sad. So he was working on Lethal Weapon 5,
Okay.
Lethal Weapon 5,
He was like
and there was talk
91
of
when he died, and he's still like at it working.
yes.
Blimey heck.
So he was actually working on Lethal Weapon 5 and everything. So this was going to be kind of like, that was going to be his last movie. And sadly,
Mm.
obviously, his last movie actually was Chadwick. Is it Chadwick Boseman? I can't remember if it was Chadwick Boseman, but it's a movie called 21 Blocks.
Oh, 21 Bridges. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Chadwick
21
Boseman.
Bridges.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think that
Oh
is
shit.
16
Okay.
Blocks or 21 Bridges. One of those movies was
Okay.
his last movie, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, go check it out. But yeah, man, he's died, and
Mm.
so yeah, so go back and have a look at some of his movies. But yeah,
Mm.
man,
Yeah. Sad
Richard
news.
Donner
Mm.
passed away. Deval, Boxset watch
Yeah.
lists.
I want to talk about one. We've been talking about this one for the past few weeks now. And if you're all watching Loki, then yeah, tune in, stay in. If you're not, tune out and come back in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
But yeah, Loki is episode 5 now. So we've got one more left. Episode
yeah,
5, there was a lot going on. A lot going on in episode
massive.
5. Yeah, like there was just to sort of skirt through it. We obviously saw Loki coming through to the wasteland,
Yeah,
where he's met all these
the
other
void, I think they
Lokis.
call
Yeah,
it.
the Void. These other Lokis. We've got like Richard E. Grant Loki. We've got Kid Loki.
There's a
We've got
flipping
Black
crocodile
Loki,
Loki.
Crocodile Loki, and then he met other Lokis as well. Like all these, like so many different Lokis.
Yeah,
But just the thing for me that has done this episode, like done it proud, is the fact that it's different. It's different to anything. I
yeah,
didn't know what to expect. I knew Loki was going to be different and going to be good, but I had no idea how crazy it's going to be. Like the
yeah,
whole time, the TVA, time variance authority, and the fact that like they are they are really powerful. If you can control time, like you can control quite a lot.
yeah,
But the sort of relationship that he's having with himself and Lady Loki, as we've been calling her, it's quite interesting actually. And in a lot of their sort of quiet moments where they have those deep conversations, you get to find out a lot about Loki. And I think this
yeah,
Loki here, because this Loki here, he spawned off from 2012, from just after the Avengers beat him, and then he was still fully evil. But now
yeah,
this Loki, almost to me, looks like he's almost better than the Loki that we got used to, the Loki that
yeah.
died in Infinity War. Because this one, his journey is just, I don't know, he's gone through a lot. I think he's
Brilliant.
truly
I
is a
know.
good Loki now. He's really good.
And you know what? There's the kid Loki Deval. He hands him because they go off and they're going to try and
Mm,
fight this thing, this cloud thing,
yeah,
called Alioth, which is this thing that just consumes everything, right? In this place called
yeah.
the Void. And Kid Loki hands him a sword,
Mm,
and that sword killed Thor.
mm. Powerful
So it's
sword,
got
man.
some. It's got to be something powerful if you're going to basically get rid of Thor, right? So
Mm,
he's going to use this sword somehow. I bet you they're going to come back to that one. But listen, the final bit of that whole thing was the
mm,
cloud clears and there's a castle.
yeah. In that castle, who is there? A lot of people are talking about it. Some people are saying,
It's
like,
another
what's the word?
Loki.
Yes, yes. Some people are saying it's another Loki. It's the most simplest explanation.
Yeah.
Occam's razor. When all things are considered,
Uh,
the most simplest explanation
yes.
is the truth.
Yep.
Some people are saying
Exactly.
Doctor Doom. Some people are saying Kang the Conqueror. Some
Yeah.
people are saying It's
I read
too
about the
much.
whole
I think that's
Doctor
too much.
Doom stuff. It's too
Yeah,
much,
it's
isn't
too
it?
much. Too much. I think it's another Loki.
Yeah.
Loki will do that sort of thing, another version of him. So yeah, I'm going with Loki. But next week we're going
Yeah.
to find out, and I can't wait.
Can't wait for that one. And yeah, so listen, go out and check that one.
Yeah.
That's on Disney Plus. And now new on streaming. So we've kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the show. This is this thing called Fair Street,
Mm.
which is kind of this. It's kind of like a horror comedy a trilogy actually, and the way Netflix have done this is I think is actually really good. So what they
Yeah.
did was they released it at the I think the end of June, I think 21st of June or something, and what they decided to do was they weren't going to let us wait months and months and months or a year or whatever. They decided to release the second part literally a couple
Hmm.
of days ago. So
Yeah.
part one and part two you can watch, and part three, which is called Fair Street 1666, that's coming out on the 16th of July. So not too long away.
It's all a week
And you
apart,
know
isn't it?
what,
It's really good.
it's really good. And the thing is, right, if you're fans of Stranger Things, if
Mm.
you're fans of kind of like, those 80s and, those 80s slasher movies, Friday the 13th and kind of like, your Jason Voorhees and stuff like that, right? If you really like your kind of, uh, horror
Slasher.
stories,
Mm.
slasher, exactly, and kind of mixed in with some sort of kind of mythology, this is going to be right up the street. And you know what? It's not like absolutely amazing, but you know what? I've got to say, it's definitely watchable. There's a definitely a certain charm about it, which I found myself kind of like, oh, this is really good. I want to find out what happens in the second part. And I've seen the second part actually. So the first and second part, they're actually
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, me too.
So I think Netflix have done something really, really good, Deval, with
Mm.
this one.
No, I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I think our friend Emmanuel mentioned Fair Street to us a while ago,
Yeah,
saying I'll give it a watch. And I thought, oh, what's this? I didn't take it seriously. I thought it was
exactly.
just a bit of stupidness. And it is a little bit, I wouldn't say stupid, but it does play on all the tropes that we know of, all the
Yeah,
slasher films. But it's fun. It's kind of fun.
it
1994
is.
was the first version.
Yeah.
So you got the 90s in there. Second version's 1978. I believe
Yep.
it is. And then obviously you got the 70s in there, and the music is from that genre. Obviously, all the fashion, all the hairstyles, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So it is a fun kind of show, film, and I like the way they're releasing them week by week. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually enjoying it. I've seen the first and second one myself. I just saw the second
Yeah.
one today,
Yeah.
and it
It's
wasn't
good.
too bad. But the thing is, the thing that subverted my expectations is that as I was watching it, I thought, oh, this is all silly teen shit, whatever. But then when the killings start,
I
people's heads are
know.
getting chopped. That you see the axe go in someone's head. That's not
Head.
a. The axe
Exactly.
goes in their head. It's not no
I
little
know. And the
teen
thing
thing
is,
anymore.
and you know what I said about the whole Stranger Things? It's got the girl from the second
Mm.
season or the
Yeah,
third
yeah,
season of Stranger Things.
yeah, yeah. It has, yeah,
So it definitely got a Stranger Things vibe in there.
yeah.
And just going back to the first one, the first part, there's a bit of a spoiler here. There's a really gruesome death in that one
Hmm.
where a
The
girl,
toaster
she
or something.
that is wicked. I love it.
Oh
I just thought to
gosh.
myself, what that is. I was like waiting and waiting for some gruesome death to happen. And you know what? They deliver on that one. So
Mm.
listen, go out, check it out. Got some great deaths in there somewhere. Um, and yeah, the concluding part's going to come out on the 16th of July. So we'll kind
Yeah,
of speak about that.
yeah.
Now, this next one, Deval, tell us about this one: The Simpsons, The Good, The Bart, and The Loki.
Yeah, it's a 6 minute thing on Disney Plus. I didn't know what it was about, but it's a 6 minute short about the Simpsons and Loki, like going to the Simpsons and being all mischievous, and it's just fun. It's fun. Just a
Wicked.
really, really quick thing. I say give it a watch. There's a little bit of a post credit part as well, and it's actually Tom Hiddleston's voice that is used for Loki in this one. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun. But Simpsons is owned by Disney now, so
Yeah,
they can merge the properties
it
easily.
makes
So
sense.
yeah, it's fun. Go give it a watch. Definitely.
Give that one a watch. Okay, and for trailer, we've got a couple actually. Well, this one's called Sweet Girl, and this is a new Netflix film that's going to be coming out in August, so next month. Stars Jason Momoa, and yeah, it's kind of really interesting. So basically, Jason Momoa, he's a dad. His wife passes away, and his wife needs like kind of like life-saving medicine, and the medical company doesn't kind of provide it, or they stop kind
Mm,
of selling
yeah.
this kind of medicine, and then his wife passes away, and then it becomes this movie about the man against the system. So he's on the run. it's got action in there. He's breaking bones. He's shooting. He's like,
Mm,
on the run with his daughter and stuff. And there's kind of like a fight between, the every man against kind of like, the government or whoever you want to call it. And yeah, man, it looks decent. It reminds me of those, 80s, 90s, B movie action movies. And Jason Momoa, man, he's good,
yeah,
man. He
he's
does
bankable.
action really
He's a
well.
cool guy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
should be good. I'm looking forward to that one.
really cool. And then finally, Marvel's What If Devour. Did you see this trailer?
Yeah, it's really they showed us a bit more of what's going on, all the different characters that's going to be in it. For people that don't know, What If is just it's an animation Marvel produced by Disney,
Yeah,
same people that produced the movies. And What If is from the comics, but it's a bit of escapism really, and it tells short stories of the characters that we know but in a massive spin on what their destinies could have been. What if?
yeah.
So what if Captain America didn't have the super soldier serum? What if Black Panther was taken by the Guardians of the Galaxy people?
Yondu.
So it's all these situations that are mixed up, but we've got the same characters. So it's very very interesting. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
So
and they kind of when you see the trailer, there's an opening bit where the beginning of Iron Man,
mm,
where Tony Stark he's in the truck, he's in the.
no, yeah,
It's that is exactly how this all starts off. And before the bomb, one of his Stark Industry bombs explodes, and then you've got obviously Iron Man,
mm, what?
Killmonger.
Yeah,
He turns up and he saves Tony Stark. So it's wicked, man. The whole
of
opening
all
of it is
people.
just like really good, man.
Wait a minute.
So and I think Peggy Carter, she's going to be
Yeah,
Captain
Captain
Carter
Britain or something, or
or
yeah,
whatever it is or something. Yeah,
yeah.
go check it out. It's
Mm.
going to be great, and that's going to be coming really really soon. All right,
11th
okay.
of August. 11. We get 11th of August, and there's 11 episodes, so
So there you go.
looking
In a
good.
month's time. All right, okay. On to anniversary corner. Now we've chosen this movie because it ties in nicely with the main movie. But Devout, I just cannot believe it's been 10 flipping years
10
already,
years,
man.
man.
Captain
10
America, the
years.
first Avenger.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, what's your take on this movie 10 years on?
Do you know what? The funny thing is, I don't remember watching this in the cinema, even though I've watched it obviously many times since then. I don't remember watching it in the cinema, but I remember watching it and I was happy with it. It didn't blow me
Yeah,
away, but I was happy with
yes.
the journey that they showed me of Captain America, because I like Captain America is one of my favorite Avengers because he is who he is, regardless of the super soldier serum, whatever it is,
Yeah,
he's the same person. He just obviously after the super soldier serum, he's got abilities, but his heart, his passion, his belief,
yeah,
his humbleness, his everything is the same,
yep,
which is why I think the super soldier serum magnified who he already was and gave him that massive ability, and that's why some other people it makes them into evil, crazy people or
yeah.
whatever.
Red Skull.
But yeah, no, this is a decent film. This was a very very decent film. It wasn't too over the top at that time in 2011. All we had up until then was we had Iron Man, we had two Iron Man films, we had an
Yeah,
Incredible Hulk film, and then we had this. And I think
yeah,
Thor came out the same time as well, 2011. So just like
yeah,
I think a couple of months later or something. But yeah, I liked it. Decent film. Decent
yeah.
film. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good. And it kind of sets up the whole his like what you said about his character kind of like sets it all up. And the one thing that I did find interesting though, the tonal shift from
Mm.
Captain America, the first Avenger, and
Mhm.
then when you look Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you can see like how there's a shift in the way that he kind of is as a character as well, and in the world that he's in. So I was just kind of going. I went back and I watched. I've been watching a bit of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and there's bits in there where he's still getting used to being in the modern world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and it's just like really great, like his character arc, and to see that from obviously the first Avenger and all the way
Mm.
over to kind of Endgame and everything. It's a great introduction to Steve
Mm.
Rogers and stuff. So if you haven't seen it, where the hell
Go
have you
and see it.
been?
There's so
Go
many
out
little
and check it
touches
out.
in it. There's so many little touches. Like when he, obviously, first of all, he was actually quite puny, wasn't he? And they used special effects to make him look
Yes,
really small,
shrink
so
him.
that when he got the super soldier serum, he obviously beefed up to what his natural, well, he worked out a lot. He looks quite good,
Yeah.
like his
Yeah.
natural body would be. And then we that's when we first got introduced to vibranium.
Yeah.
Tony Stark's dad was in it, Howard Stark, and he meets up with him and he gives him the shield and says, "Oh yeah, that thing, yeah, that's vibranium. We got it from somewhere. I can't remember what he said." And we
Yeah.
see Peggy Carter shoot it, and
Shooting
the
at him
bullets
because she
bounce
got pissed
off.
off about something. Yeah.
And that's when he first meets obviously Peggy Carter, and they fall in love, and he's supposed to go on that dance. So I really feel sorry for Captain America. I feel sorry for him
Mm.
and Bucky a lot because they've gone
Yeah.
through some shit. They were in a war, they woke up, and they're still in a war. Like, where is Captain America relaxed?
Exactly. So,
Why not
and that's
relaxed?
why Endgame. That's why Endgame is such a great ending for him because he
Mm,
goes off and he has that dance.
yeah, exactly. Trust me, he needs to have a good slow dance in the corner.
Dance, man. More than a dance,
Proper.
man. It's been like
Mm,
90 years since he's done
mm.
anything.
Slow dance in the corner. Hold on, so he hasn't had any nookie for 90 years.
No action.
Ooh,
No action, man.
imagine when he first
No
has some.
action.
Ooh, and that super soldier serum as well. Boy, that's gonna be a
Exactly. Oh my
hmm.
gosh, man.
Oh,
Imagine him like, literally like going on the internet for the first time, checking out porn or something
right.
like
Oh
that.
my gosh, can you imagine? Cap.
Go check it out.
Mm,
It's from
yeah,
2011, and
yeah.
you can find it obviously
Joe
on Disney
Johnston,
Plus.
director, isn't it? Joe Johnston.
Joe
Uh,
Johnson, yeah,
I think he
yeah.
directed something recently, isn't it? What was it? He directed something recently that we saw. Was it?
Okay.
It wasn't Infinite, was it? No, it wasn't.
No, that was Fuqua, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. You got a good memory. Yeah, yeah. Joe Johnson also done The Wolfman with is it Benicio del Toro,
Which I
Jurassic Park
like.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, October Sky, Jumanji. I didn't know that.
Okay.
So yeah, quite a few
So he's
films.
done a few, yeah, he's done a few big movies and stuff. So yeah, so that's Captain America: The First Avenger. Go check it out on Disney Plus if you haven't already, got it or seen it or whatever. And yeah, so this kind of leads us into our film review. And I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the show that we've been waiting a really long time for this. Black
Mm,
Widow. Just to remind you again, Black Widow was supposed to come out last year in May, and because of the whole pandemic, COVID, it got delayed 3 times. And the thing is, when MGM, the studio behind James Bond, when they delayed No Time to Die,
mm.
which was, that is a, don't get me wrong, that is a huge movie, right? So when other film studios thought, shit, James Bond, they're delaying James Bond, that, that's got to mean something. And then they decided,
Yeah.
like, shit, okay, we've got to now delay our movie as well. So to and fro, finally, it's here, July the 9th. We saw it this week. And what was it like, Deval, actually catching it on the big screen?
On the big screen, it was good, and I'm glad I watched it first on the big screen rather than watching it
Yes.
on Disney Plus Premiere. Uh,
Yeah.
I think for all Marvel films, for me, I always go watch it on the big screen first of all, get that feel, and yeah, I think it was really good. It was well shot. The special effects were really good. The sort of I don't know the action I think was captured better on the big screen as well. This one kind of I kind of got the feeling that they were trying to give it that Winter Soldier kind of vibe,
Yes.
action pieces and stuff like that. Kind of came across a bit like Winter Soldier was like Born. Uh,
Yeah.
this one was a bit like Born, but they kind of beefed it up a bit too much, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
some of the fight scenes were very very dramatic and almost were fight scenes that only people like Captain America and Iron Man and Thor should be walking away from.
You know what?
But I'm going too deep
Absolutely.
at the moment. But yeah, it's good
No,
film.
no.
It's good.
You
It's
know
good.
what? It's a good film. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. There was a moment in the movie where I thought, hang on a second, they haven't got a flipping scratch. This is like no, no. Don't do a Fast and Furious on me over here.
Mm,
Like, seriously, let her come off. Like, she has to have a limp, or she has to be
mhm.
kind of like blood got to become somewhere. But just to kind of put this into context, so this movie takes place after.
Civil
No,
War.
hang on. That's it.
It's after
After
Civil War, but before Infinity War.
exactly. So it's
What?
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of slots in over there somewhere. And listen, there's going to be some spoilers. So we might say something inadvertently. So unfortunately, so you might want to kind of pause it and then come back or whatever. But we're going to try and keep it as spoiler free as possible. But yeah, listen. So it starts off with you know, Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. She's a kid in the beginning of the movie, and
Yeah,
Deval, have a guess who that kid is in real life?
her daughter, her sister, her cousin.
Mila Jovovich's daughter.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's played.
Oh
She,
my
so
gosh,
Natasha Romanoff
that's
is played by
gangster.
Mila Jovovich's daughter,
That's gangster from like Resident Evil and Fifth Element. That's
and
gangster, and she looked like her actually. Now you
I
said it,
know, I
yeah.
know, and you know that she's
Are you
probably going to end
serious?
up having a film career of her own as well, and like she's probably going to go off
She's
and do
just
stuff.
started, mate. Mate, that was good. I didn't know that was her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts off in the 90s, and there's kind of like the Black Widow. So Natasha, she isn't the Black Widow just yet when the movie starts off. So she's Natasha, and she's with kind of like her family, and her family are David Harbour, who we've seen before, Devout in
Mm,
Stranger Things, uh, and Rachel Weisz.
yeah.
What
It's
have we
so
seen her
funny.
in before?
Rachel Weisz. Well, we've seen her in. We saw her in Is it Disobedient? The film that we
Yes.
saw
Do you
recently,
remember
the
that one that you
Jewish
said was
one
really
with
good?
relationships, and she's been in. Is it the Constant Gardener? Is that her in that
Yeah,
one as well?
yeah, yeah. She's married
She's
to
been in
James
enough
Bond.
films. Yeah, she's married to Jane, and second, she's a spy in this too. So they're all spies, aren't they?
Exactly. So there's kind of like this whole big thing in there that happens at this kind of like set piece, and they got to try and escape America, and then and we're introduced to a guy called, I think his name is Dekirov or something, played by actor Ray Winston. And for me, Devout, I don't know why it is, but whenever like Ray Winston, when he does there's been other movies where he's put on accents as well. He does a
He
Russian
still
accent,
sounds like an East Ender. He's
always sounds like a flipping East End gangster. There were so many instances where I was like, come on, Ray, this is him speaking like a
Bet
Cockney
three
accent with
six
his
five.
exactly.
The
So
adverts.
so he's kind of like the villain of the piece, and so it starts off where she's a kid. She gets taken away by Ray Winston's character Dekrov, who's this kind of agent for the KGB or the Russian kind of like secret service, whatever.
Mm,
Then she gets trained up. So then there's a whole montage, right? Montage of little kids. They've been kidnapped, they've been taken, and they've been basically been thrown into the Red Room, which is kind of like this program, taking young girls and then
yeah,
building them up so that they then become spies, assassins, and they become Black Widows. And there's not just one Black Widow, Deval. There's hundreds.
there's a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them
Exactly.
all
Yeah,
over the world. Phew.
all over the world. And it was interesting that they decided then to fast forward and to pick up after, like you said, Civil War.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think we all know what's happened with Black Widow. That's the thing. This movie took away any kind of surprise element because we knew where this fits in. We knew what was going to happen to her and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people, including myself, I wanted to know a lot more of the Red Room, how they were trained, what kind of stuff happened. I know we know a little bit from Age of Ultron when Black Widow said, they take away their ability to have kids and the training's very very harsh and all kinds of stuff, but would have been interesting. I know they can't go into so much too deep into it because this is a PG-13 movie or whatever, but just to understand a bit more of what happened in the Red Room, that would have
Yeah,
been interesting. And also to
yeah.
maybe get a bit more from Budapest, I should say,
But
because
yeah, remember when they had that conversation? Is it
yeah,
Budapest or Budapest? Yeah,
Budapest.
that's
But
brilliant.
in Avengers, her and Hawkeye all like, this is a lot like Budapest, isn't it? Oh, you and I remember Budapest very differently. It's like what happened in Budapest?
Exactly. And we do kind of get to kind of see this whole thing. And what I like is a bit they do show Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, like her
Mm,
character and everything. She does go a bit dark. There's I'm not going to spoil this bit, but there's something that she has to do in Budapest. She does something in Budapest, which then kind of, you know, uh, makes her part of kind of like the Shield and the Avengers type of thing like that, right? And that kind of incident has repercussions for her later on
Yeah.
in the movie and everything, we're introduced to another kind of. Would you say Taskmaster is a no, not kind of like super powered? No, how does
It's tech.
Taskmaster get its powers?
Tech. It's all in the tech, because the
Yeah,
door. Sorry, am I spoiling it? But the person who's the person who Taskmaster is underneath doesn't have any superpowers. But I think the tech, the suit, gives them that ability to read people's powers and stuff like that. Because in the comics, Taskmaster is what's the name? Something. The name escapes me. I'll find out. But yeah, Taskmaster is a character in the comics who is, his powers basically is hyper like powered uh, photographic memory. So as he's
wow,
fighting someone, he can analyze your moves and know how to counteract your moves, and
shit,
that way he can know how to defeat you. In the comics, he can fight like Spider Man, Captain America. He's got a bow like Hawkeye. Like what we saw is basically Taskmaster, but in this they've given it as that Taskmaster is tech. The suit does
yeah,
all the
right,
tech, so he's controlled or she's controlled. I'm not
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
gender specific.
Exactly. And listen, there's other
Edward
other good things
Masters,
about
that's his name. Edward Masters, I
Edward
believe.
Masters. Okay,
Taskmaster.
so there's
Yeah,
another kind of important element that we need to kind of mention in this movie is Scarlett Johansson. She's not alone. She teams up with her sister,
yeah, yeah. Which is
played
cool.
by, which is
Florence
really good.
Pugh, she's gangster. She's
Exactly,
really
she's
good.
really good, and Florence Pugh, like she's, I think the sister's name is Yelena, and
Belova.
she's a young kid as well. She got taken into the Red Room as well. She becomes an assassin, like a badass assassin, and yeah, man, she kicks ass as well. She's really good in this,
Yeah, she's
and
good.
in some scenes, she kind of steals the limelight, I think.
Yeah, yeah, they both do that leg flippy kind of move. Why is it, yeah, that all like I don't know if it's like a sexist thing or what, but all women like Black Widow, Yelena Belova, maybe Gamora doesn't do it, but a lot of the women in Marvel, they just give them this move like they can't do anything else. I mean, let them do other moves.
Moves.
Not all women can just flip their legs around your neck and make you fall over. Give
I
them another
know.
move.
I know she did that move in Iron Man 2.
You know.
We've been seeing that move since God knows when. And you know what? I'm not sure if you picked up on this as well, right? Maybe I don't know if this is just me, maybe my weird mind, but there were so many arse shots of
Yes,
Scarlett
yes.
Johansson.
The person I went to cinema with said the same thing. And it's funny because this is actually directed by Kate Shortland, who is a
Yes.
female and who specializes a lot in those neo noir kind of films, which is why I think she was chosen for this. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they understand, that, or maybe Scarlett Johansson herself said, make me look hot. I want to look hot.
Yeah.
I want my ass to pop
Oh, my
in
ass
these
look
shots.
great.
Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone likes to look great in movies, and I'm not. I wasn't cussing.
No, no,
I
no, no,
wasn't.
no. It was
I
because
wasn't.
I just thought they, because obviously they don't want, kind of like them, there's this, the male gaze, we're just kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
looking at these
yeah,
female
yeah,
body parts and stuff like that. But I
yeah,
just thought, hang on a second, that's like an
yeah,
arse shot. There's an arse shot, and like,
yeah,
it was just kind of,
yeah.
that was fine.
I wonder if this
Great.
movie passed the Bechdel test.
Uh
I wonder if it passed
huh.
it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. We should
We'll have to
find
find out.
the list and see if this movie's on it. I don't think it is. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, but wait. Okay, so listen. So this is the 24th movie in the whole, MCU universe. And
Wow.
Deval, where does this rank in
This is
your
not
kind
my
of?
not my top five is secure. My top
Yes,
five is
it
secure.
doesn't break into the top five. Yeah.
My top 10 secure as well. This isn't in my top 10 as well, honestly. I'm not saying it's shit. No, no, no. I enjoyed this film.
Yes,
I'm going to watch it
absolutely.
again in the next couple of days. I enjoyed it. But because my expectations were low, I think
Mm,
that's why I enjoyed it even more. If I
yeah,
expected a lot, I would have been a bit gutted because this film's 5, 6 years late. Let's be honest,
I
yeah. She should have
know.
had this film years ago, so we could have gotten to know her a bit more and appreciated her a lot more. She wasn't just Black
Yeah,
Widow, just Natasha Romanoff, just a bit part player. She's a gangster character
yeah.
in Marvel. So I think this film was late. They done her wrong, but it is
True
what it
say.
is. It's their pension pay. She's executive producer, Scarlett Johansson on this, so she's getting paid all good, for her. But
Yeah.
now we're going to get a new Black Widow, and it looks like she's going to be involved in the future of the
Yes.
MCU from,
Be-
not spoiling it
because
too much, but
there's an end credit scene
yeah,
which links up into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A character from there pops up in this, and it's also going to link up into Hawkeye.
yes, yes. Hawkeye is going to be coming out, I think, either the end of the year or start of next year. The TV show that's going to have Kate Bishop, his daughter, as well, who's just as
Yeah.
good as him. So you're going to have if there's characters from other Marvel films leaking into that, that would be very interesting as well. A lot of people
Yep.
are saying it's going to be a young Avengers, so maybe Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh's character, maybe she'll be one of the young Avengers. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting film. I just noticed as well, Mila Jovovich, that you said that was her daughter, the young version of
Yeah.
Black Widow. And the dad is Paul W.S. Anderson, the director of all the Resident Evil films. I didn't know they were together.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even know
That's
that.
why she was in all those films.
No wonder she's in all those movies.
So yeah, that's her mum and dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So listen, her career's sorted. Her career is
Exactly.
absolutely sorted.
Yeah, she's been in Resident Evil films already, but digress. But
Exactly.
yeah, this was decent.
But you know what? I'm absolutely spot on with the whole thing. It doesn't break into the top 5, doesn't break into the top 10. And exactly like what you said about why didn't we see this movie before we say goodbye to Black Widow
Yeah.
in
Should have had
Endgame?
to say, exactly. Yeah, I do miss her because she's definitely got a big role to play in the
Yeah,
whole Avengers and stuff. She's but maybe she as an actress, maybe she wanted to go out. Maybe she had enough. She wants to do different projects. Maybe
sure.
So yeah. I mean, I don't know. But also, did you notice the film she was watching in her room? She was watching James Bond.
She was, and that was
Roger
Live.
Moore.
Was that was Live? Was no, that was that wasn't Live and Let Die. It was Live
Moonraker,
and
I
Let
think,
Die.
or
Was it?
something. That
Or
was
was
the
it
one where
Moonraker? Okay.
the villain was almost like this villain who was trying to use some sort of. He's trying to create some sort of super soldier or something to take over the world or something like
World.
that. So
Yeah.
there was a bit of a link in that. So a lot of these things that you see in these Marvel films, they're not there just for the sake of it. There's
Just
always
for the
a
sake
link.
of it, there's a message in there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so David Harbour as the Red Guardian, so he was really funny. There was kind of a lot of comedic elements in that whole kind of dynamic over there as well. And there's a bit in the movie where he keeps mentioning Captain America. He keeps saying,
Yeah.
They went toe to toe, and there's a bit where he asks Black Widow. He says, "Oh, does Captain America ever talk about me?" So,
Oh
is
my
there a
gosh.
bit where they ever went toe to toe?
I think in the comics, yeah, but I mean, even the person in prison that he was arm wrestling even said Captain America's been on ice, or he was on ice for how many
Yeah,
years? There's no way you could have fought him. But in his
exactly.
head, he's just made up all this shit, and
All
he
this
sees
shit and
himself as
everything.
like a direct competitor or equal to
Yeah.
Cap. But obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah,
You know?
it's good. There's, there's fun. There's really, really funny bits in there. And Florence Pugh. There's one thing that I liked about it was,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole kind of
when they took
when
out
the
of Black
Scarlet,
Widow
when Black Widow,
posing.
when she's posing, and when
Yeah,
they put their hand on the floor and then they do that flick
yeah,
up and everything
yeah.
like that, right? I
She's
thought that
done
was
it.
really
She's done
good.
it in the film, and she was like, "Ah, it's rubbish."
This is a
That
rubbish.
was wicked.
I thought
Yeah,
that was a really, really good kind of like almost like a Deadpool type of a thing, kind of in
yeah.
joke. So listen, look, yeah. So our verdict is that, yeah, definitely you have to kind of watch the movie to know exactly, what happened before we get to kind of Infinity War and everything. So that's kind of interesting. And also it fast forward to the year to present day, and we find out what's going to
Mm,
happen to Black Widow's sister.
yeah,
So
yeah. So we'll see
and
her
obviously
again.
there
Put
are
it that way. Yeah,
exactly. So we haven't said goodbye to the Black Widow character, but it
yeah,
is definitely a goodbye to Scarlett Johansson.
yeah, definitely. Which is sad. When she walked off to her plane, I was like, oh, she looked so hot as well, walking off on
I
her toes,
know.
as she
And
does.
little does she know she's going to have to
Mm,
sacrifice herself.
I know. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
gosh. All right. Well, listen. Look. I mean, yeah, that's it for us. We've got some new movies we're going to be reviewing on next week's show. There's a horror movie that we're going to be speaking about, which I want to speak about, and
Okay.
any other. What are the other big movie releases, Deval?
There's a few, but we'll let you know as they come out. We'll surprise you for next week.
Exactly. All right, Deval. This has been great. Cheers, man.
All right, peace out.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.